Hey, it's Wednesday, and if it's Wednesday, it's Tripping with the Birds. It's February the 23rd. Looks like it was supposed to be really, really nice outside today as well. So listen, this is DJ Straight coming to you live from our home base. Listen, check that word out. Our home base studio. Always go on our website, WGMLB.com, and check out our website with all the different shows that we have. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's DJ Straight. And then if you're on Facebook, go ahead and share with somebody else because we have great shows lining up. But let me say this again. If it's Wednesday, let me bring on the birds. And then I have just a statement that I want to make. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hey, Rick, what's going on?
Good evening. How are you,
I'm
DJ Straight? What's
well.
happening?
I'm going down my food so I can get on here on time. Hey,
All right.
Hello, good evening.
what's going on? So listen, unfortunately, we were supposed to have a guest tonight. I was excited about seeing a new RV, but one thing about DJ Straight and WGMLB, we operate in integrity. And if you give your word to say you're going to do something, then you're held accountable. Because I'm held accountable for whatever I bring to the platform, to the viewers, to the listeners, to the subscribers. So I want to apologize to the birds because our guests, unfortunately, did not calculate the time correctly. And therefore, they won't be coming on tonight. And I was looking forward to seeing that. But and so, as a segue to that, I wanted to briefly touch on that recently, Trina, you did some type of campaign for your business, for you all's business, and it has been overwhelmingly successful. Can you kind of talk about that campaign that you did and what was the result of that campaign?
Sure. Well, in business, you have your slow periods and your time when, you feel like, is it all worth it? I'm working really hard. I'm not really getting the results that I would like to see happen. They're not happening as fast and as in depth as I would like them. And so you get kind of in a position where you feel like I gotta, reinvent myself, or I gotta come up with something, that will take me to the next level, or do something different to stay relative. And you as a business person, you always go through all these different stages of being a business owner. And our last class, which Rick happened to be a student at, for Microsoft Office 365, he wanted to update his skills in the class, and that ended in December. And so in January, we were scheduled to start a new class, but because of the pandemic and some issues going on with state funding, it had to be delayed. So, of course, when you get that kind of slow period, you're thinking, okay, how do I make sure this doesn't happen again? Or do I fill in the blanks with things that I could be able to do that I didn't have time to do because I had a full schedule, etc. So a couple of weeks ago, I woke up and I was kind of like, you know what? I need to figure out some different ways of doing business because of the pandemic, because of the way technology is changing so vastly and so critically in the way that we operate everything today. I need to come up with something that is not so, I guess, hard to do. I need something really simple. And I usually get my conversations with God first thing in the morning when I wake up, and it came to me to just go out on Facebook and say I'm looking for businesses to highlight their business on my show. So I just put out there on Facebook under, I think it was one of those small business groups, and I just put in there looking for guests to be on T-Bird Live. And I clicked, post. Then I see one person, then I see 5 people, then I see 10 people. By the end of the day, I had like 300 people respond. And it was like just this simple 6-7 word post. And right now I'm booked up to the first week in July.
Okay.
And
Okay. Go ahead.
I have so many people wanting to just get on the show and tell their story about their business. And it's just a simple idea. It's a free format. We're not charging people to be on the show. We're just wanting them to come on. I have three requirements. Obviously, you follow us on the T-Bird Center Facebook page and the T-Bird Live Facebook page. And I also like to introduce them to Constant Contact, which DJ Straight is a very powerful marketing tool for your business. So
Definitely.
with those three hard, it doesn't, it's what, 3 clicks, you could be on our show as a guest. And we have been getting so many interesting people from around the country wanting to be on our show to tell their story and highlight their business. And so that's exactly what happened. And it was a simple, innocent kind of task that just came to me, did it, and now I'm very excited about it.
So listen,
Okay.
you said something about reinventing, and I wanted to come over to Rick. Rick, you can make your comment. But Rick, what does reinventing mean? Because not only in business, you guys had the food truck, and sometimes we got to reinvent our lives and stuff. Go ahead and say what you wanted to say, Rick, but talk about reinventing as well.
Yes. In any kind of way, shape, or form, you have to reinvent yourself, meaning explore your inner self, because there's something else that you want to do that's in conjunction with whatever you're doing. And when that happens, you have to, and if you have time to expound upon it, go ahead. That's all part of reinventing yourself, because you're on one path, you have to alter that path sometime. And a lot of people fall or stumble and don't know how to get up. They go back to the same path, and like sometimes that path is not there anymore. So that's all reinventing yourself. But that should have been in your New Year's resolution, when part of your New Year resolution, one of your one of your bullet marks, to reinvent yourself, because whatever you was doing last year might not be applicable to what you're doing this year. So you always have to keep that door open, or that mindset open. Mindset, I might say, because you always can't just go through that same path, because it might not be for you now. And
Well,
times change.
right, right. But not only that, you know, if it's July, I definitely don't want to wait till January when I see a need to reinvent. So tell me, between the two of you guys, what's the difference in reinventing and refurbishing? Because what you all are doing is that you're giving people a platform to kind of recycle, reinvent, refurbish their business by what you all are doing. So what's the difference between reinventing and refurbishing?
Well, I think reinvent, most people think that you got to start all over from scratch, and that's not the point at all. The point of reinventing yourself is to add to what you already do, especially what is already working for the business and is really, really making the business grow. But you don't want to get stagnant, so that you're doing the kind of the same thing. Like, for example, I had a client down in Florida, and she was a client about 3 years ago. And what she does is she sends out a weekly publication that tells people about the legitimate remote jobs that are available and what the criteria is. And 3 years ago, she had a certain look on her email blast. So fast forward 3 years later, she's using the same format. So you're not going to reinvent. You're just going to change or upgrade the format so that you stay relevant in terms of the look. So what may have looked like it was, let's say, for example, a lot of folks loved clip art back in the day. Opposed to now, you can use digital pictures. I mean, that digital picture is going to look a whole lot better than the clip art.
Yeah, it took one of us a long time to get off that clip art.
Yeah, it was me. That's why I use it as an example.
Hey, well, some of us still clipping in some cases.
Oh boy, boy.
I remember when you had to, cut something out of a newspaper and put whiteout all around it, make a copy of it, and then put it on your document. That's how far we go back.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to tell her that you got to upgrade what you're doing. So it's usually not so much reinventing, but upgrading what you already have, and then refurbish. Kind of to me means that some things are working, some things are not, and so you have to take a hard look at everything you're doing and it's like gotten sent back to you. Like refurbish means okay, it was broken, now we fixed it, and we're gonna start over again. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
that's good. Where it's like when you reinvent something, that means that you change something, and it like allows for you to appear that it's new, but it's still the same thing. Because like right now, a lot of people have the same like what is business model, and then if it's working for them, they don't even touch it. But it's
Right.
always about enhancing. You can always enhance, and like to me, that falls under like reinventing, making it appear new, even though it's the same.
Well, you know what? And when you all were talking, I thought about back in 1988. I was the executive director of the department at the church, and my first flyer, it was on a beautiful yellow piece of paper, and it was all stencils. I traced every letter, every alphabet,
Yeah.
every number, and I have that hung up in my office because that's a reminder from where I came from. So what you all were saying was you always want to enhance, you want to improve. I remember working with freelance. I remember working with something else, and now you
Mm.
got Adobe, you got all of these other, like Trina was saying, and Rick was saying, get off the clip art. So do you all keep any of your old, let me use this word, paraphernalia around just to remember where you guys came from, since you're advancing so much?
Yeah, we do. Well, it's not here. We're in Maryland now, but if you go to our building back in New Jersey, and you go into this, it's actually the multi-purpose room. So we have big, large meetings there, as well as it was our lunch room, and it was a multi-purpose room.
Multi-purpose, yeah.
As soon as you walk in, well, first of all, the cabinet. It's the cabinet. It's the glass enclosed lock cabinet. And one of our students, actually Rick's students, he did a computer repair class early on when we started the school. And one of the students, he was a carpenter, and he made this beautiful cabinet for us. Well, first he took the old motherboards that we had, and he made clocks out of them.
Yup.
And then,
Motherboards.
yeah,
Yep.
and then he made a cabinet for us to put the motherboards in there. And so we kept it over the years. We had our school bag, our school cap, a sample graduation certificate, things that would, encourage the students to successfully complete the program. And that cabinet is still hanging in the all-purpose room. And it has old motherboards in there. It's got an old floppy drive. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Floppy drives, 5.5. Do you remember the 5.5 floppies?
Oh yeah, I got a
It
computer.
has one of those.
Oh, listen, my
Before they went to
19,
3.5.
my 19, let me see what computer. It's over HP in 2000. I was an office manager. But look, everybody say hello, Vanessa, because she greeted us, and we weren't able to
yeah,
greet
I
her
was
back.
trying to comment. I was trying to figure out how to comment.
Yeah.
You gotta go on YouTube. Go on YouTube and comment.
We wish you.
Yeah, go on YouTube and comment on DJ Straight. You may can do it on Facebook, but let me tell you something. That computer, floppy drive, the 3 1/4, and it had that zip drive in there.
Okay, the zip drive, right?
That computer was used in a lot of places. Because when I need to get something done, and that's what made me now be loyal to HP. I've had sales, but I love HPs. I love HP cannons. I love the printers. I like cannons too, but that old stuff worked. The only reason I don't use it now is because the speakers are busted and it gets hot when you turn it on. But it's one program on that I still like that computer for, and I'll
What's that?
use it just for that. It's a DVD maker. I can't think of the name of it, but let me tell you, that's one of the best DVD software out there. And it
Okay.
came when I bought a Memorex portable DVD player, and it was like a gift of software. And is it DVD? It might be called DVD Soft or something like that. And man, I could put 100 pictures, and that thing would put the music on it and flip it over and all this kind of stuff. So
Is
you
that
could
right?
the
Wow.
last time it worked, this is the truth. I was on my 2015. I was on my way to my aunt's viewing, and I just wanted to make a DVD to show at the viewing, because it was already hard for the
Hmm.
family. And in my trunk, I stopped at Staples to do something, and in my trunk was that DVD being made on that old laptop, that HP. And by the time I got over to the funeral home and went to the trunk, it was popped out. I ran inside. I said, "Listen, they told me y'all could play DVDs, and it worked perfect." And I still
Mm.
had that master copy. So that's why I
Good.
asked about nostalgia things that you all had, because if it's not broken, it doesn't need to be fixed. But
That's
they
right.
don't do some things like they used to.
All right, let me ask you this too. What formats? See, now we might be talking Chinese for a lot of viewers that are out there. What was that? Windows 98 or what? What was that?
That was Windows 98, because
Yep.
XP hadn't come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the most solid foundation
Yep.
Microsoft came out with. Windows 98 was, and then they came out with the second edition. That was the ultimate. So that might be in that
Yeah.
same era as you. Yeah.
The best, even now, it's a font in word art. It has a bunch. Y'all know I like my colors. I
Hmm.
go back to a little thumb drive that I used in 2006. That was before that. I'll go in there and type in word art and get that pretty rainbow, and
Right.
I'll cut and paste it into my PowerPoint or whatever software we're in, because this now they don't make that same stuff anymore. So give us some examples of what kind of remedies that you guys have done.
Remedies for
For your business. If you were in a crunch, especially Trina, you do a lot of computer stuff, and Richard too. You know how you got a deadline, and nothing is working. Nothing is working. And then you like, oh, I remember this worked. You can always go to, so for instance, if you were having guests at your house and you tried this new pot roast, okay, I know y'all can cook, but wasn't working out. You said, shoot, I got a chicken in the freezer. Let me, because I know I can make marinated chicken, fried chicken, baked chicken. So that's your ram in the thicket. So that's what I'm saying. Your ram. What's your go-to for your business at one point?
Okay. What I'm gonna do, that's a very good question.
yeah, it is a
Straight.
really good question.
And what we're gonna do, we're gonna flip flop. Trina's gonna do me, and I'm gonna do Trina. Trina,
Okay.
Getting back to the originality, Trina has always been a desktop person, and just like you, DJ Straight. If y'all doing Fonz's, when they first came out, that was the foundation for everything. And like that desktop publishing, that's where everybody started at. And like groomed like the Dream Maker, Photoshop, all of those new programs coming out. Yeah, and like it's just crazy. But I was in the background. I like DOS. See, now I'm talking some more. I like DOS when it came out, because what happened was I was doing like programming, and a lot of the background server stuff was in DOS. It didn't have a GUI interface. Another word, right? GUI interface. That's crazy. But like anyway, this is the foundation that I guess the three of us stand on, because we know it. And then now to come out now, with say for instance my grandson, he doesn't know anything about that, but that's what it's built on, which really comes into play right now. They just took another word for computing and called it coding. That's a new buzzword. That's all it is. We've been doing it for years.
Yeah, because you had the binaries and the other stuff, and the zeros and the 1 zeros and all that stuff.
Zero and ones.
Zeros and ones. That's all it is. Coding. That's all it is. But at any rate, what I mean. So what about me, Trina? What you think about me?
Wow, that's an very interesting question. I kind of want to say that if Rick can't figure out something, he kind of likes Excel, but he can't stick with it. His go-to program would be PowerPoint. He loves to go to PowerPoint to do. I mean, he even would do letters, I think he got it from his boss
Really?
at Pleasantville School District, because
No,
they
it was
all love PowerPoint. They would do letters in PowerPoint. I'm like,
no. Well, hold on. Let me like tell you this. My boss.
Okay, explain yourself. Explain yourself.
Okay, I'm getting ready to do it. Whereas like right now, there's no magic about it, and like the program was Excel, because what it is, you could do words and put words and numbers like the same. And like my boss came from the accounting background, so that was like perfect. And then when I came in, I like adopted it. But that Excel program, that is a prominent program that you can do both, and a lot of people fail to more or less utilize that even now till like today. I still use it.
well, I'm a Access. I'm a Microsoft Access. I love I mean, I went to school to be a programmer. That's what they didn't call it coding. They called it programming back in the day. So
Okay.
I went to school to be a computer programmer, but I didn't like sitting at a desk writing, and I call it code now, but we use COBOL. I didn't really, I just could not fit in that world of sitting in a cubicle all day long writing code. And I guess God must have known it, because when I graduated college and I came back to the casino era in New Jersey, I got hired at a low-level job compared to my college degree. They hired me as a data entry clerk, which was like a 0 compared to a 10. But I didn't care, because I went from making $2.75 an hour to making $5.50 an hour to start. That was double my pay. And I was making that money in New York. The average salary in New Jersey was $1.75 an hour.
Yeah, they were still behind the times.
Yeah.
Yep.
So being in New York, we were making like at least $1, maybe $1.50 more an hour. Coming back to New Jersey after college, it doubled. So I took the job. And I was so glad I got that data entry job, and I applied for a programming position. But they said that I didn't have enough experience to get that job. And I didn't. I never had a programming job. I always had data input work when I was because I was still in college, and that was the only job I could get without the experience. But I was so glad that they gave me that job with the salary. And on top of that, I was able to learn so much more in that department, opposed to sitting in a cubicle doing just coding all day long. And I rose from a data entry clerk to managing my division of the data processing department at that particular time. That's what it was called. Well, actually, it was information systems by the time I left.
MIS.
When I got promoted, it was still data processing. But I think that because I had that programming background, that's why I was so easily able to create Microsoft Access databases. And a lot of folks don't know how to use Microsoft Access,
Right.
so they stay away from it. But my downfall was, I'm busy running the company, doing all that, and when the apps came out, I didn't put any attention to it, and I really regret that, because I would have been crazy with developing apps. And I'm still, that's like one of my bucket list things. I want to be able to, create some awesome apps.
Right, take a couple courses.
Yeah,
Because you
because
probably already know the
program
basic
about
foundations
things.
of it already.
Yeah, it gotta make sense. It's gotta mesh.
Yeah.
But that's like my pet peeve.
Well, you know what? This is what I do. I'm gonna take it back further. For those of you who are just coming on, our RV explosion was canceled tonight. Not on our as a part of the Birds or DJ Straight. So for those who didn't hear the announcement, but I'm gonna go back further. I liked DBase 3 and R&R report writer. So because that was before Access. This is how I applied in learning the new software, and I do this to this day. In learning all the stuff that's out, I create and take something that's familiar with me. So when I was learning DBase 3, that might have been Word. That might have been a Word software, a Word Perfect. I'm not sure. Word Perfect extension. I created a video shop because I always love electronics, and I would create the name of the customer and what they wanted and where they were located and how much it was going to cost, all stuff. And by
Okay.
creating that, that made me learn different formulas. It made me how to
Yes.
format. And with software today, you still have that same stuff going on, whether it's Adobe Photoshop or if it's the Access or the Excel. What's that other stuff that they use?
Back in the day was
Quicken,
Lotus.
yeah,
Lotus.
Quicken, all that other stuff. If you have a basic, it's like Control C. In most platforms,
Yeah.
you're going to do copy. Control V,
Right.
go to paste. Now, if you go
Control
to the
P,
Apple
print.
stuff, right? If you go to the Apple stuff, it might be an alt this, and that's why I would let people to know is that when you learn a command, most of the time, or at least 75% of the time, that command is going to carry over to things. So don't try to always do shortcuts. Learn the long way first, and then be creative for whatever you're doing.
That's
Even
right,
if you're not
because then
creative, make up something that's familiar to you. Go to your
Right.
client emails and look at all the shoots you have. Man, look at your ties. Put those in some kind of order, and then create something that will help you learn the software. What
Then you
techniques
can
do you all
troubleshoot.
use?
When you got a problem, you know where the problem is. You know whether you should go left or right. With today's technology and these young people learning it, if that mouse don't work, they don't know how to. They can't use the keyboard to do anything. They
Right.
just,
Exactly.
The mouse is not working.
So like more or less think about that. Like for
That whole
like
concept, yeah.
right.
And I want to go back to
Go
DBase
ahead.
3. I started with DBase 4, so I didn't even know
Go
DBase
ahead.
3. I knew DBase 4, and I'm gonna give you another one, Quattro Pro. Remember that? Rick?
I heard of that.
Yeah, Quattro Pro.
That was the bomb.
Mm,
I love
I beg
that.
to differ with that.
When we first started our training school, we taught them. We used Microsoft Works in the first 8 weeks, and then the last 8 weeks we taught them Word Perfect, Lotus, Quattro Pro. Yeah, and that was it.
yeah.
So they learned, it was only 3. Like right now when we teach, we do, Word, Excel, Access, PowerPoint, Publisher. So the desktop publishing wasn't even on the scene then. And we certainly didn't do, the database was Quattro Pro, and Lotus was the actual spreadsheet program, and then Word Perfect. Plus they also got introduced to Microsoft Works because Office hadn't come out yet. They had just came on the scene with Microsoft Works.
Mhm.
So when you graduated from our school, you got the Microsoft platform, plus you got DBase 4, and you got it was DBase 4 and Quattro Pro, and then you also did Lotus and Word Perfect. So you were leaving us with, I don't care what they were doing, you were eligible.
What's that for? What's
to do
that
the
for?
job.
Works. I could not stand Microsoft Works.
Oh, I love
Are
that
you kidding
program.
me?
I could
That's-
not.
I loved it.
That's my foundation there.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's my
I
foundation.
learned on Word Perfect. My agency had Word Perfect, and I got a brand new Word Perfect, never been opened out my mom's stuff, and I got a whole freelance thing that I got. But I couldn't give it the Works at first because our agency only had Word Perfect.
Let
Okay.
me tell you
That's a
something.
round package.
I understand it.
IBM,
I understand.
IBM was they were the dummies of technology because this Word Perfect was the best word processing program. It outdid Microsoft Word to the 20th degree, but they didn't market it right, and they
Yeah.
wanted to keep it exclusive so that
Mhm.
nobody could do anything with it but them, and that was their downfall.
Yeah, and they lost out.
And they lost out because if they had opened it up, when they finally did open it up, they had like Word Perfect.
It was already too late.
It was
Yeah.
too late. Microsoft took off.
Yeah,
Microsoft
absolutely.
took
Yeah.
off. But
But
that
the
was
whole
a great
thing is-
program. Word Perfect was the first ones to create menus. You click on the menu bar and it had a pull down list. They were the first ones to do it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
But
true.
they wanted to
True.
stay proprietary, and you can't do that in you can't do that in technology. You just
Well,
can't.
with the whole catch is with technology today, it's just let me do what I need for right now, what I need, instead of learning that because everything is microwave. I need to help create this flyer. Well, I need to, again, you're talking about the younger people, they use this as a computer. All I want to do on this is say hello, goodbye, and text something. A whole other stuff. Let me get on my keyboard and let me type.
Yeah, yeah. And you
And
can
that's
see it.
Right. Get me on my way.
Because that's another skill they don't have is even typing, knowing how to type. Typing is not typing.
No, but they peck like crazy, don't they?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
peck like crazy. But it's come a long way. Technology has evolved. I mean, I think we are the best generation because we know what a phone booth is, rotary phone, to the beeper, to the portable phone that had that big gigantic flip thing, to the one these these little small handhelds. So we went through
What they
the
call
whole
it, the brick,
generation.
right? It was the
Yeah.
brick with that big cell in there, with that big battery you just carry around.
Yeah, so that's the thing that again, Trina and Rick, you guys putting out that blast to say, hey, if you have a business, come on and talk about it because with them talking to you, then they gain some knowledge that not only will help them, but will help some of the other
Absolutely,
listeners.
you're right.
And that's what it's all about. I mean, I know everybody is like, this is my business and I want it to flourish, but if you don't have clients or if you don't have somebody sewing into your business, then you just with a business and no customers.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
true.
And that's what I require them when they come on the show. If you see my questionnaire, which I created in Google Forms, which we demoed a few weeks ago, I have them. One of the requirements for the show is that you explain how one of your biggest problems that occurred in starting your business or running your business and how you resolved it. So
Okay.
it's all about educating the audience, not so much you. I mean, I want you to talk great about your business and put your platform out there, but I also want you to help someone else solve an issue that they may be having with their
Exactly.
company and tell them, show them that, you're going to go and, run into these bumps and bruises as a business owner, but there's always solutions out there and there's always help. And the main reason why you chose this platform is because when Rick and I started our business, there was nobody to go to because technology was new to everybody. In fact, we had more naysayers than people that were on our side. They thought it was going to be some kind of fad, it was going to go away, and it was never going to amount to anything. And so they thought we were crazy. They thought that, we were just like a quick whatever. And then, fast forward 20 years, 30 years, 40 years later, look at where it's at now. And
No, well,
so-
fast forward when we came out there, just like we talking archival stuff, and like we were talking to them, and they didn't know what we were talking about.
They
And
didn't.
then like so we said, hold on, well, let's take this thing on the road, and then we got the TV show, and they said,
Yeah.
hey man, these guys know what they doing, these
Yeah.
guys know what they saying, and like it started to make sense. But like we were definitely on like the
Yeah,
forefront
the
of
TV
things.
show. The TV
You know
show
what I
did
mean?
it.
Yeah.
The TV show did
They
it.
said, oh man, them guys know what's going
Yeah,
on.
they know what they're talking about.
So
And we did live TV,
like
DJ Straight,
it
for
worked
about
out.
7 years. We would come on every
Wow.
Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. It was a local cable channel.
yeah,
you
local
were
cable
in
channel.
studio to do
We
that,
were like
right?
local celebrities, and it was a lot of fun. It had its downside because Rick and I couldn't go anywhere. As soon as
It
they
was
heard our
every
voice, they
It
were
was
navigating.
every week. I got tired of like the consistency every week, and then somebody
I loved
I be in Trina sent me to the store to get something on aisle 7, and I go from aisle 1 to 5. I gotta answer 5 technology questions before I get to where I'm going. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
one of our big supporters
I'm like,
was,
what's going on here?
One of our big supporters was Circuit City, so he would go out there. The show started at 7, so he got there at 6, and they were like, "Look, get whatever you need off the shelves." And we had such a great deal because whatever we picked to talk about, obviously we would say it was brought to you by Circuit City, and then we would fifth caller call in, you get it for free.
Right.
And we were giving away like VGA cards and hard drives, software. I mean, it was
Hold
valuable
up.
hundreds. We had cell phone people come on and they would give away cell phones.
we'll give away cell phones, car alarm
hit.
systems.
was
I'm
big
definitely-
Car
one.
alarm, yeah, car alarm.
Circuit City
We
was
did a
the
lot of
place
stuff.
that look, I had a ball going to that store with that red thing. I still got some Circuit City stuff now. I'm pretty sure I do that. That was the place, but again, technology has been around a long time. It's not going anywhere. It's only improving. But again, with every type of software, you gotta learn the basics. You gotta learn the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
You
Exactly.
do. And you got to make sure that you stay on top of it if you are in the business of teaching
Depending on where
people.
you're going, exactly.
Yeah, because we're in the business of teaching people, and we learn from our students, but we also got to be in the leadership role so that they follow us and know that know what we're talking about.
Well. If you have somebody that's about maybe 70, 75, all they want to do is know how to go online to pay their bills because they no longer feel comfortable going to the bank. They can do that too. I met well, I was talking to somebody recently, and they had this program where like a buddy system. A millennial or younger person, not a millennial, will go to an elderly person's home and
Mm-hmm.
teach them how to use Zoom.
Yeah.
When we got shut down, teach them how to use Zoom, teach them how to use Facebook, because they didn't want their people to be without. And so
Mm-hmm.
again, if you can move a little bit, and even if you don't use a mouse, this little thing right here, this Stylus. Now I got this a pack from the Dollar Tree for $1, but this came with my Samsung. That was $7.99 when I bought the Samsung, and heaven forbid you get the Apple one. That's like $129 by itself.
Yeah.
That's right. Speaking of the style, like the stylus, I never was a stylus person until I got the Trio phone, and then I became, because like the screen was so small, and you needed to like the little really like pinpoint. You see my hands here. I was over like five letters at a time, so they didn't know what to do. But that stylus was on the money. I
But
love
it
that
helps
stylus.
arthritis too. I noticed that as well, so that's a good thing.
True.
Yeah. So it's all kind of it's all kind of devices out here, and I think it is you find out what works for you, what works for you, and that's one thing I like about the T-Bird Center, but really not just the T-Bird Center. You guys are always willing to share your knowledge with people because you have history. You can't share what you don't know.
That's
And
right. You can't.
You can't share. People ask a question. I can tell you what I think the answer is, but then let's prove. Let's
Yeah, let's go
verify.
prove it now. Let's go prove
Let's
it.
prove what the answer is, and let's verify. So, again, we were not able to do the RV tonight. And
We had a great show.
we're not going to stay on much longer than this. But do you guys have any parting remarks that you want to give?
Well, first of all, I did have my listing for this week's show, but like we're not gonna, ration up. Just I like to have everybody try to reclaim their time. Right now we're getting a lot of good weather. It was 70 degrees out here, and I did not want to come in. That's why I was running a little bit late. You know what I mean? Because that weather was real good, and like hopefully I can catch some back part of it because I gotta, run some errands. But at like any rate, for and I know that the next holiday is like March 17th, which is St. Patty's Day. But and this is for Trina. All your leprechaun people, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
Huh?
I don't get March 17th off. It's that holiday in my book.
No,
No, it's an inside joke.
it's an inside joke. But I mean, please, no more leprechauns. Even though St. Patty's Thursday, March 17th, I wish everybody a happy St. Patty's Day. But we don't need no more leprechauns because not this yet. And I'll continue that much later
listen,
on.
DJ Straight, we know that time is valuable first, and then time is money second. And people don't understand the work that goes into preparing for shows.
Right, preparing for for the show, scheduling it.
Scheduling it.
It ain't no fly by night thing.
Advertising it. You
It's like to
spent
give
money
me.
to for this show. We got the commitment. You spent money advertising it, and then to just not be able to do it, and it just doesn't work well. I mean,
It doesn't work well with anybody, and it's very unprofessional to have that happen. So.
And we apologize as well.
And I'm saying,
to you.
we apologize also. You know what I mean? But in saying I'm going to do it, or I'm going to, I got your back, it comes with responsibility. and it comes with accountability, and a lot of people lack that. I'll just leave
And
it
I
at
want
that.
to just give a shout out to your station, DJ Straight, because I have you on live. So every time any of your shows goes live, I get a
Really?
hit, and we try. Rick and I both is on his phone
Yeah.
too. We both try to tune in, and your station is growing in leaps and bounds. In fact, DJ Straight and I talked about something today, and
Hey, I started to you back, didn't give it, but you got it. You got that one. That was a good idea. You go ahead and take that
yeah,
one.
I
got that other one.
Yeah, I do. Because we were talking about different shows. Because her station is growing and it's really great. I was telling her, everything she does is unique, and I like it because it's different, and that's why we don't have any problems with being a part of whatever. I'm usually the one saying to the person, "Yeah, well, I got you scheduled for this," but DJ Straight is just like I am. I got you scheduled for this, Trina, and you just know that person's gonna support you. But today we were talking, and I was like, I got this idea about doing a judge show, and then having two people on, and we'll do like a Judge Steve or a Judge Judy, and then make hit the gavel and make a decision. And the more I got excited about it, the more I was thinking she had to go. She had to take another business call that came in.
Mm-hmm.
I texted her right back. I said, I had figured something out for StreamYard that we both use. I told her the way to solve that issue. I said, and I'm so sorry, DJ Straight, but I'm gonna have to keep my judge show because I got so excited about it. I think I'm gonna do my own judge show.
You better stop. You better stop
what
listening
we're talking
to Judge Jerry Springer. He got a good one on there too.
But I think we could do both, DJ Straight. We could do
There's so much room out here. There's so much room.
Yeah, it is. And we need to do an episode with the family thing, where we say who's right and who's wrong, and the judge says, okay, this, because you already do the siblings and me, and you do the other one. So we need to incorporate that into one of the shows where it's a judge show where this one thinks they're right, that one thinks they're right, and then the judge actually
somebody makes a decision on it.
Well, this is the thing. When the weather breaks, it gets good. I got all the equipment I need. I bring my own, I got my little power thing. I got my camera. I have my little TVs, my mixing board. We can actually go out to the park and have some people come out there.
And you can go mobile, DJ Straight?
Huh?
I said you can go mobile now? All right.
I'm a DJ. I am a bona fide DJ.
Okay.
I started
DJing
at 9 years old with that big old wooden record player you lift up and then a little one you plug in. So I am, DJ Straight is not just a name for me here. If you go to my website, wgmlbeaver.com, you will see how I got my start at DJing. But, as people, wearing the mask and social distancing and all that kind of stuff, it would be great if we could take our shows outside, to a nice park or a nice secure area, and just, we can pre-plan it and have the people come in. I can even do that, Trina. I'll pack that van up with some tables, and if I don't have a gavel, I got a couple of hammers. You know me.
Okay, all right.
You know me, I'm gonna improvise. I had to put that thing out there with Miss Geneva finger snap. That's the little I put on your page, that little 2 minutes and 30 seconds 70, because your faces was just hilarious. Last week on that thing, I had to put that little bit out there, but and to the audience, everything is possible when you have people that you can work with. As much information as we share with each other, we're not trying to take from each other. We're not saying, oh no, I'm not going to tell her about that idea because she's going to take it. Or no, we work as a team. We have our own interests, but then yet we have commonality, and that's what the Birds are about. That's what DJ Straight is about. The station working together, because if I was out in the Pacific Ocean and my big old ship ran out of gas, I guarantee you it'll be some days before the waves come and float me in, and they may not, and then Jaws might come up behind me, and then I gotta be fighting him, and then the helicopter's coming around, and I'm gonna be on the news because lady survived Jaws. So we work together, and that's what it's about.
That's it. We can always find a solution. We can always find a solution together.
Yeah. So why don't you all give out your handle? It said CB Talker 10-4. What's your handle? Breaker 19. That's all I knew. Well, give me the 1036. We must have asked for 1036, which is time change a long time. But give out your out your Facebook page again, because you all coming on tonight, I believe.
Yeah.
And then we'll go out early. And I'm going to finish my food.
Well, we definitely want to support you, DJ Straight, in any way that we can, so that we can build that studio into something bigger than any one of us had thought combined. That's our message to your listening audience, and our handle is to just keep up the good work that you're doing. We are so thankful that you invite us to be a part of it, and we just wish you, as much as you can handle.
That's right. We wish you the best on all ends.
We're going to cut the show back to bi-weekly with Triple the Birds, because really it's wearing us all out. We still all have full-time jobs.
Yes.
Okay.
It's wearing us out. And then I have some other things other ideas coming on. So the Birds aren't going anywhere. We're just going to go every other week. And then when they get back into that R&B, we'll probably come on more frequently than that. But I really just wanted to talk to you all tonight. Okay, when we found out that the R&B wasn't coming up, because of the resources that you all have, you give platforms to people that want to have a business or business oriented. And again, on my end, if you have something positive to share, if you know how to play jacks really, really well, come on and talk about that jacks. You probably can't beat me, especially if it's not a wooden floor, if it don't have splinters, because coming up we had splinters on our floor. But we played. So I'm just saying, we are both the Birds and DJ Straight with WGMLB. We are community oriented. They have a school. I can tell you how to get to their school. But if you stick over here, you're going to learn something that you can apply at their school, or learn from the school and apply here. So join them at 7 o'clock tonight, shortly after. Not that long. And here we go now. So thank you all, Birds, for your flexibility. That's
Thank you for having us.
Now, I'm going to be leaving, but Rick's going to give you the inside scoop on the leprechaun.
Okay.
You got to go to the show.
All right, Trina, I'm going to talk to you very
Talk
good.
to you.
Okay, let's go on out.
Headed on out.
Okay. Cool. All I have to do, okay.